Megyn Kelly decided to have Tucker Carlson on live. I believe it was today, at the time I'm recording this. And she's going to have Ben Shapiro on tomorrow, I believe. And what I think is rather intriguing is if you are saying you are friends with both Tucker and Tucker and Ben have been going at it for quite some time, Tucker refuses to debate Ben Shapiro. If you're Megyn Kelly, right? Wouldn't you want to try? I don't know if she tried doing this, but I'm just going to speculate. This is what I would try and do, right? If I was friends with both of these people, try and bury the hatchet and then also bring both of them on stage to talk with the audience. Because, hey, it's one thing to say things about a person on stage, and usually it's been negative. Tucker's just been, I mean, he even says it in this moment too, when he's talking about Ben Shapiro. I'll show you in just a moment. It's quite like evident that Tucker hates Ben's guts, even though he will pick up the phone sometimes. It's more like a cordial sort of thing. Hey, Ben, how you going? You still alive? Yeah, I'm still alive. That kind of thing. It's not like you are actually really friends. And Ben, the other day, had a go at Tucker because Tucker decided to do something really disgusting. He decided to host the likes of Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is a rabid anti Semite, a hateful individual, a Nazi, a Hitler apologist, a Stalin lover, and Tucker didn't do a very good interview at all. It was shocking. And that's what people were criticizing him about. But apparently, the woke right, let's call them that, they think criticism now is cancellation. So if you criticize Tucker, how dare you? You can't do that at all. But Tucker can criticize you quite easily and quite freely, and that's not like we can't say anything about it. So Ben, if he gets criticized by Tucker, oh dear. Ben's just got to shut up. But if Ben criticizes Tucker, nah, that's unacceptable, man. How dare you criticize Tucker Carlson? Tucker's right about everything. Notice a trend, right? And when it comes down to one's allegiances, if you are in support of Israel, oh dear, you can't be in support of Israel, guys. It's a horrible thing. It's terrible for you to be an Israeli supporter, especially after the whole Gaza situation, even though there's a ceasefire at the moment. Oh no. Oh dear. And the thing is, we are platforming people like Nick Fuentes, and Tucker seems to think that Nick Fuentes is the voice of all the young people. That should concern you. Nick Fuentes, a Nazi, someone who hates women, someone who praises Hitler. Tucker Carlson should know better, who calls himself a Christian, no less. So everyone that has a brain on them and is not a grifting tool like Tucker is, and a gaslighter like Tucker is. So the thing is, I think Megyn is honestly petrified of Tucker. I think she's petrified of both Tucker and Ben. It's not a friendship to me. I think she's petrified to actually call them both out and say, you're both wrong. She's never called Tucker out on anything that he said. She's always called Ben out for sure, but not Tucker. She refuses to call out Candace because she's just a mum and she's going through mum stuff. And her fight's not with Candace. Her fight is with the left, even if the right are hosting crazy conspiracy theorists and their way around this, right, is I hosted Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer got platformed. So if Jeffrey Dahmer can get platformed, why can't Nick Fuentes? Because everyone knows what Jeffrey Dahmer did was wrong, except obviously a select little minority group that is actually a psychopathic dingbat. But the problem is there are people now that don't know the history. It's been revised. So apparently Nick Fuentes, the Hitler apologist, the Hitler lover, the Stalin lover, the actual bona fide Nazi, he's called himself that, who has said really despicable, horrible things, apparently he's still able to get platformed with no pushback whatsoever. I mean, hell, Jeffrey Dahmer got more pushback than Nick Fuentes did. Jeffrey Dahmer was like, every single time, are you sorry for what you did? What you did was horrible. Nick, nah, nothing. Anyway, let me show you this first clip about the war with Ben Shapiro. Because according to Zalka, he doesn't want a war, but have a watch.
Talk just for 1 minute about Ben Shapiro, because he too is under threat. I know you both very well, and I also really care about Ben. And you cannot see Ben without 6 armed guards. He said on the Daily Wire not long ago, and I think it was a great line, he said, if they kill Matt Walsh, God forbid, everybody will know who did it, some crazed leftist. He said, if they kill me, it'll be like an Agatha Christie novel, like a mystery, where they won't know. Could be alt-right, could be far-left. Like, he's got a lot of haters. And so there was this one brief shining moment after Charlie died where you guys kind of buried the hatchet, and I
called him. I called him and Mark Levin, who I know well. He's obviously a lunatic, but he's a person, and I didn't want to fight. Well, he obviously is, but I didn't want to fight with him at all. And I said to both of them, I called them the day after, or 2 days after Charlie was killed, from my backyard, because I was really thinking about it and praying about it, and I was like, we agree on a lot, actually. And I'm not that interested in the topic of Israel. I'd be so glad never to hear the name again. I mean, I would be so glad. I would never mention it again. I'm not for more forever wars. Let's just stop that pressure, and I'll never mention it again. I'll never think about it again. You obviously care about it much more than I do. That's fine. But take that off the table, and we agree on a lot. So let's, not attack each other. And they didn't abide by those terms, but that's fine. They were under no
Mark
obligation.
Levin was literally attacking you within days of that. I remember when you had that conversation. We talked about
fine.
it. Within days.
That's fine. I don't care what
He's also out there calling me an anti-Semite. I don't even know what, I know at least what the accusations against you are. I have no idea what I did.
Is anyone thinking through the damage this is doing, like downstream? I don't think that Levin, again, there are things that Levin says that I agree with completely.
Okay, but enough about him, because he's truly, Mark Levin, you're like, oh, Mark Levin's angry again. What a shock. But is there any way that you and Ben Shapiro can actually find your way to détente?
I'm not against Ben Shapiro. He did like a 40-minute thing yesterday calling me dangerous and all this stuff. It's like, I didn't watch it because why? But I got a lot of texts about it, and it's like, I don't think Ben Shapiro is driving a lot of this stuff. I don't consider him like the world's greatest force for evil. I don't feel that way at all. I don't actually think about him ever. So I'm not attacking him. I saw him at Charlie's memorial service backstage. It was totally nice, and he looked a little uncomfortable, but I wasn't uncomfortable. I'm like a lunatic. I was like prattling on and telling obscene jokes and all this stuff, and he was totally nice. A little appalled, but nice. And so I don't want to have a war with Ben Shapiro. I don't know does he really think that me doing an interview in which I explained that anti-Semitism is wrong to one of the lead purveyors of anti-Semitism, that somehow makes me a Nazi? Like, what is the argument here?
I'm going to ask him tomorrow night.
No, but I don't even understand what the argument is. All I know is that the right, and I've been on the right since before Ben was born, is acting like the left in such an amazingly precise way that I'm like, what the hell is going on? Mm-hmm. And I tell you this, I'm against that. I was against it when the left did it. I'm against censorship. I'm against identity politics, no matter who does it, period. Because that violates my principles, and I'll never be on board with that. I don't care if my own kids run for office. If they engage in censorship and identity politics, I'm out. If it's all about their tribe, if this is about whose ever tribe, we're done. This has to be about our common Americanness. We're all American citizens, and if our politics is not about that, it can't continue, period.
And guess who is actually contributing to the right acting like the left, Tucker? You are. You are knowingly platforming a very dangerous individual that has dangerous ideas. You are knowingly platforming him with no pushback whatsoever. None. You're just giving him a platform to millions of people. And as a result, I don't know if you guys saw any of the comments, but I certainly have. And we're not saying that you can't platform anyone. No one's saying that at all. But criticizing the fact that you, Tucker, who should know better, but doesn't, apparently, didn't even want to give an ounce of pushback to Nick Fuentes, even though you two have actually gone at it in the past. You didn't even think to give him pushback. And this is what Tucker had to say about the Nick Fuentes interview. So keeping in mind that Tucker's like, I don't want a war with Ben Shapiro. And I don't know if you guys followed along with a lot of that slop, but his brain, the way it works, my goodness, it's like he's got some sort of tism or ADHD, or he knows exactly what he's doing. It's like very emotive, right? Very clever at how he talks. But a lot of it, when you think about it, doesn't make too much sense, does it? And I think the way Megyn talks is very different to the way Tucker talks. The way Ben talks is certainly different. With Ben, you can actually understand what he's saying because what he says makes sense. With Tucker, it's just very emotive, and he'll have slight little digs every now and then. And it's like, look over here, guys. I'm not doing this. I'm not thinking that. I haven't seen the video that Ben made, but I know that he made a video. Why would I watch the 40-minute video to see that Ben Shapiro was attacking me? Maybe you should watch it, Tucker, because Ben made a very important point, or not just one, but many. Here is Tucker on the Nick Fuentes thing.
The main criticism, as I understand it, has been, well, yes, platforming. They say that. I don't accept platforming as a valid objection.
What is that a verb? But like, you take a noun and you make it into a verb and nobody says anything? As a former editor, I say no.
Yeah, agreed. Okay. Honestly, but as far as I know, Nick Fuentes hasn't eaten anyone. You know, I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer ate people, and he was platformed by Diane Sawyer.
Dude, we have a sitting member of Congress. I spoke to the Speaker of the House about this today. We have a sitting member of Congress from Florida called Randy Fine, who was literally texted or put on Twitter, we should kill them all. Every single one. Someone texted a picture of a dead baby, and he laughs at it. And it's like, this guy's a lawmaker who's appropriating money to a military committing genocide, and that's cool? It's not cool.
No.
And let's just be honest. That is much worse than anything Nick Fuentes has said, period.
So the main pushback has been when you had Jeffrey Dahmer or the Ku Klux Klan, or et cetera, these journalists went after them, like exposed the terrible things. And Nick Fuentes has said a long list of very vile things.
Big time, including attacking my dad, which was the most vile of all, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I personally have watched videos of him questioning the Holocaust, likening it to baking cookies in the oven, and there's no way you could have gotten to 6 million, seems to be his theory. He seemed to think that we've way overstated the number of Jews killed in the Holocaust. He's ripped on poor Usha Vance in the most offensive terms, which I mean, so what do you say to those people who say, why didn't you raise any of that?
You know, do your own interview the way that you want to do it. You're not my editor. Buzz off. I mean, I don't know. You want to go yell at Nick Fuentes? I'll give you his cell. Call him and go sit and yell at him and feel virtuous or whatever. That's up to you. I got the same thing with Putin. Why aren't you yelling at him? Okay, why? So I can show that I'm a good person? I care about what my wife thinks, my children think, and God thinks, and that's it. I don't need to prove that I'm a good person to you. You may think I'm a terrible person. Okay, I'm just doing my thing, which is I want to understand what people think, and I'm committed to that, and if you don't like it, don't watch. That's my view. Yep. But that doesn't mean that I share the views. I'm not telling Nazi jokes, obviously, or Holocaust jokes. I mean,
I would love to call Nick Fuentes and rip on him. Me personally, 100%. Would love to. Wouldn't platform him at all, but I would probably post me like going after him for sure. So Tucker, if you mean what you said, hey, hand out his phone number to people that actually do care about the public space, about truth, and you saying that Randy Fine and all these other people that are supporting a genocide that's not actually a genocide, that's supposedly worse than anything Nick Fuentes has said, and he's said lots of horrible things. That's, to me, that's like really disgusting. You are comparing someone that is actually saying something really, really disgusting and is a Hitler lover, an apologist, all those things. You are trying to downplay it. and say that Randy Fine is way worse than Nick Fuentes, guys. It's way worse than anything Nick Fuentes has ever said. You try to downplay all the horrible things that Nick Fuentes has said. Okay, we get it. He said some very horrible things. You've chosen to platform him, and still no pushback, no criticism whatsoever. Why? If you believe that Nick Fuentes is a horrible person and he said some horrible things, why not give him an ounce of pushback at all? Then he goes to Megyn Kelly, do your own interview. See the arrogance and the pride? I think that was a snap at Megyn Kelly. Do your own interview. You're not my editor. You can't tell me what to do, how to conduct an interview. And how dare you criticize me for the way I conduct my interview? It's just how things are supposed to be. You gave no pushback at all to the Iranian president, no pushback at all to Putin, no pushback at all. You're doing these softball interviews with these very influential people, and you're just giving them a platform to spread their hate and spread their nonsense. And this is the person that Megyn Kelly wants to defend. All because, my fight's not with the right. If the right's doing the wrong thing and acting like the left, maybe your fight should be with people on the right, because they're not really on the right. Goodness me, it's like a bunch of little kids, isn't it? Bunch of little kids who've got no idea what the hell, well, they kind of do, but in many, many ways they don't. It's like we've become so dumb. So dumb. I'm looking at this like, what has happened? This is in America, but it's also happening in Australia. And you know why? We've gone so far away from the Bible, and it's all become about self. We've gone so far away from things that are actually godly and acceptable that it's just become all about me, what I believe in. And so if you actually have someone like Nick Fuentes and you are a Christian and you know full well that it's wrong, but you have no pushback whatsoever, how do I know that you are really a Christian? Because you are actually supporting someone that's not and doesn't have any values that a Christian should have. Bible's clear. By your fruits ye shall know them. And out of the heart, the mouth speaks. Maybe they should know their biblical literacy. Maybe that would help. Anyway, that's enough from me. You guys take care. Be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.